Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, and that channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. I've got a really special presentation to make for you today. I've been approached, lucky enough to be approached by people who are promoting a particular Kickstarter project for a very special writing instrument. A writing instrument that's been in the works for many years. And I think it's going to be fabulous. I'm very hopeful that they will achieve their goals, so that this writing instrument can be presented to all of us and for our pleasure. And not only that, I think it's got a bright future because they've got all kinds of things planned for it. So, without any further ado, Fountain Pen Therapy presents the Infinigrav, the Japanese fountain pen of innovation. Yes, folks, I've got it here. I'm very anxious to show it to you because it's very special. It's very special. I got to tell you, it is a writing instrument. Actually, there may be two writing instruments, and it's really a piece of engineering, outstanding piece of engineering, and frankly, a piece of art in my view. What we'll do is I'm going to show you the Kickstarter project on my screen. And I will leave all the references down in the description, and we'll take you through this. We'll present to you the project as I understand it, and then I've got the real thing before me, and we're going to take a real look at it. So without any further ado, let's go to my computer screen, and here's the Kickstarter project. So here it is, folks. As I mentioned, the link to this will be in the description. The name of the instrument is Infinigrav, and there is a particular meaning to that. And we'll get to it in a second. It's the Japanese fountain pen of innovation, a DIY, and I invite you to take a look at that video. Very interesting. Now, what you need to know that behind, just a little bit of background, if you will, and all of this is more elaborately explained on the website, and I invite you to take a look at it. But behind this project essentially is an enterprise by the name of DareWorks and a renowned Taiwanese designer by the name of Frank E. DareWorks essentially is a manufacturer that was founded in 1980 and owns a pen factory with a site area of, they say, almost the size of 8 American football fields. Over the past 43 years, they've produced over 3 billion ballpoints, fountain pens, and other pens for the world's leading manufacturers. Now, this particular project has been in the works for 15 years. on and off. The technology wasn't there, and then finally they got it right, and they're making it happen, as they say. And in terms of the product itself, so you'll have the story here. The product itself, I want to show it to you a little bit live, and at the same time I will give you some of the descriptions that I think are important. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So without any further ado, let me show you the product itself, and we'll take it from there. So what you see here is really the package that the Kickstarter project will offer. It's a special set. Comes in this cardboard sleeve. We have the a metal box, DW, standing, of course, for the Dareworks, which is the company promoting and behind the project, as I mentioned. And you open this up, and there is this wonderful, wonderful writing instrument. Now, it's composed of several pieces, and we'll go through all of this. Essentially, what we're talking about, first of all, let me just take the pen so I can show you. The pen itself is, the pen body is made out of brass, and it's got PVD coated. The jackets that you see here, because as you saw in the video, that's what it's all about, right? Are stainless steel. They're painted. You've got some black, and you've got the white. Okay. Now, at its core, the pen is designed as a triangular body. Okay. It combines a certain lightness, but at the same time, you can feel the durability in this pen. It is a substantive piece of engineering, I can assure you. It's crafted apparently with such precision that at certain points they had to find lines that were 1/3 the width of human hair. They had to be that precise, otherwise it would not work. And let me show you. Let me take the pen from scratch. So essentially, we can remove these what they call jackets, and we will do exactly that. So that's one side. This will be the other side, and let's remove the last piece here. Okay, now let's take out the white as well, and as you'll see, it has both a ballpoint and a fountain pen, so you're really getting two pens. We'll take this box out of the way so we could just so here are essentially, I'm just going to put them in the order that they appear on the pen. Okay, here we go. So you've got these what they call jackets, okay, but at the core it's all magnetic, and you can see the converter underneath, because when you open it up, there's the pen. Okay, and the design had to be so precise in order for all of this to work, and it's gone through, as they say, 15 years of development. Okay, now, so the first thing is these 4-piece jacket in white and black, and everything works by magnet. So and you'll forgive me because I may be putting on the wrong jacket at the wrong place, but let me just figure that out. As you can see, everything kind of fits in, and you build your jackets and you build your design. So you can have all kinds of combinations. You can have the black combination, or you can have the white combination, or anything in between. I'm going to put up on the screen exactly all the different combinations that you can have, as you can see there. Wonderful. So you can have, combinations of black and white, at the top, at the bottom, on one side, on the other side. So it's really fascinating that you can have that flexibility, if you will. Then of course, and let me just take a second, I'm going to build one combination for you. Okay, now we're back with the pen. Now, you see that blue line? Essentially what you're dealing with is what they call a Mobius strip. Now, I don't want to get into mathematics and geometry. It's not my field, but from what I understand, it's a very simple shape, and I'll put up on the screen what a Mobius strip looks like according to Wikipedia, that essentially has no beginning or end. It's supposed to symbolize a philosophy that, life is cyclical and constantly evolving. And there, I think, lies the name, which is Infinigrav. In other words, infini for perpetual, cycle, and grav, writing. So it's a perpetual cycle of writing that you get with this pen, essentially. Okay, so now that we've gone through some of the background and some of the highlights of how this pen kind of fits together, let's take a look at the writing instrument itself. As you can see, you have that nice blue reflective background, which creates that Mobius strip, if you will. Very, very nice. Very classy looking, and when you combine it with white and black, it doesn't detract from the formal look at all. You got these rubber stops on both sides with DW, I believe. Yeah, DW for Dareworks. 1 and 2. As a Kickstarter project, I would say to you that these two finials, they can probably play with that in the future and make it even more exciting, if you will, and maybe use different materials for those caps and make sure that the DW sticks out a little more. But that's just me. I think they want the simple look, which is, that nice black or white finish. With the white finish, they stick out a lot more, obviously. They may even want to turn those things into replaceable, caps, if you will, or finials, a little bit like the jackets, but that's something for them to work on. I don't know, design-wise, whether it's even feasible. I've got the ballpoint now. I wanted to show you the ballpoint, and then we'll take a look at the fountain pen. When you remove the sleeve, or the top barrel, it's got this kind of reservoir. And I was saying to myself, what kind of a ballpoint is this? But then I realized it unscrews, and inside you have your refill, which is a Schmidt refill, which you can get in fine, medium, and broad, I would presume. And then there's the cap that screws in, so it prevents the whole unit from rattling, I think. But it's self-contained, and I'm not sure whether or not this has any other purpose. I'm not an engineer, but I thought I'd show you how. That's the ballpoint. Let's put in the fountain pen. Here's the fountain pen. So let me just close up a little more. Here's the nib. There's a DW and some scrolling. It is that type of nib which is similar to the Safari. You insert it. It's got a plastic feed. There's no mention on the nib as to what size this is. I suspect it's probably fine. Iridium point. I didn't see on the website whether or not they offer it in different sizes, but that's something, I guess, for the future. They can offer this in medium, extra fine, and broad even, and maybe even stub. That's always doable. We'll start with this one, I guess. It has a standard cartridge converter, as you can see. So it's not a piston filler or a a vacuum, okay, which is very simple, and it's got that snap-on magnetic wise. Very, very nice, comfortable pen position. I got to tell you, there's something about that triangular shape that's very original, and we'll take a look at some of the comparisons in a second. But there you have it. It sits really nicely. It's got some weight to it as well, which is, and I can see this, how this could be a very comfortable pen for long writing sessions. Does it cap? I mean, I would hesitate to cap just because of don't want to ruin it. But yes, you can find the position and you can cap it. Does it back weight? Not really, because it gets inserted quite a bit, and it just sits there in the nook of your hand. So yeah, it's pretty comfortable. I just hesitate to do it just because I don't want to scratch the surface there, although I've been told that it's very durable. But there you have it. So that's the, oh, let me just check what's inside the cap. Because there are sleeves, you wonder whether or not, but you could see that there is a whole, let me just make sure I focus. Yeah, there's a whole section there where the nib goes in. Let me just focus, and which I think is going to, there it is. You can see the step down. So the whole nib, I think, gets protected. And I don't believe that the sleeves will cause the nib to get dry, to have dry issues. In fact, just to show you, I've removed the sleeves or the jackets because I did want to make sure. And as you can see, the pen caps right there, and there's a reservoir right here. So because I was wondering with those jackets, plenty of air comes in, but there you have it. It snaps. So there's that magnetic, and then the pen and the nib or the section, the entire section gets sealed very nicely. So I suspect that you will not have a dry nib issue on this pen. So there you have it. What I propose is that we put this back together, maybe put some white jackets to it, and we'll do some comparisons and measurements and then the writing sample. Be right back. Now, one more thing I wanted to add is that in some of the material I was forwarded in preparation for this review, the promoters mentioned that I should indicate to you, the viewers, that this Infinigrav or this model is in fact a new and completely reimagined model that was built upon the Japanese released Gravity Mobius. So if you find any other versions of this, somewhere on the internet, you may in fact be looking at previous versions. This new version, that is the subject of this project, is a significantly changed version. It has numerous enhancements that were all triggered by requests or feedback from users that the manufacturers received. So they ended up, at the end of the day, creating this model with the hope that even more people would be satisfied and enjoy the writing experience with this pen. Now, among the numerous enhancements, there are three that I'd like to mention. The first one that they point out, and I'm going to be showing some photographs in a second. Well, actually, let me show you the photographs first. You'll see that they mention, number one, we improved the design by adding a guided rail structure that makes it easier to align the mechanism to the correct position, as the switch between fountain pen and ballpoint pen was previously difficult to identify. So if I show you the pen, and this is where I'm pulling out where I'm pulling out the the fountain pen and I want to replace, you see there's a guide now there. There's a guide so that when I want to put it back, it's much easier for me to know exactly where I'm going. Otherwise, in previous versions, people were left to guess, whereas now you just, boom, it goes in. That's the first enhancement. The second enhancement, let me put up some photographs. You see the two versions of the nib. To prevent ink leakage, we redesigned both the internal structure and the external shape of the nib so that the inner and outer dimensions fit together more precisely. And I guess if we look to the pen, when we look inside that nib structure, what they're saying is that everything is just a nice tight fit now, reducing any leakage. The last item, in fact, it was part of what I discussed earlier. It's number 3 here. To improve the cap sealing performance, we enhanced the internal magnetic structure of the cap. So we saw that earlier, that in this cap, when we were looking at whether or not the seal would fit nicely, we saw very clearly the fact that do we see it from here? Let me just remove the part that has, so you can take a look at it. Here it is. So that you could see in there that when you put in the pen, it just seals up a little more tightly with the magnetic fit, thereby increasing the sealage or the sealing qualities of the pen. So there you have it. Thought that's important to mention. So stay tuned for my next segment. What I wanted to mention is that if this project is successful, there will be other jackets. And let me put on the screen the 3 different types that they plan on doing. And that's provided, I guess, that this project goes forward. The first one is the stained glass. As you can see from the photograph, it's a fusion of transparency and colors. It creates a beautiful refraction of light with every moment of the tip or every movement of the tip. So when you move your pen, it's like sunlight filtering through the windows of the Notre Dame, as they say it, the church. Every stroke adds color to your everyday life because as you move it, the different lighting sources will affect the overall look of the pen. The second project that they foresee is the Infinigrav supercar. I put a photograph up on the screen. The website states the pen's design captures the elegant lines and refined textures of a supercar, creating a smooth, rhythmic flow with every stroke. Each movement feels like a melody, sparking inspiration. Okay, and the third set of jackets would be the Infinigrav meteorite, a photograph up on the screen. Website describes it as hold the mysteries of the cosmos in the palm of your hand. Inspired by the meteors, every detail reflects their unique character, inviting you to journey through the galaxy with every stroke. Beneath the brilliance of the stars, endless ideas come to life. So there you have it, folks. I think it's a very, very original pen. And I think what we need to do now is get it to work. Okay, so we're back with some pen comparisons. What I've done is I've taken from my collection pens that either have a triangular grip section or that kind of guide your grip. Even this Curidas, it might have a rounded shape, but given, its pieces, you're almost, you're forced to hold the pen this way, if you will. And I find, this is the Majon V60, which has a triangular shape as well. There you have it. There is, of course, well, let me just put this the right way. The Lamy Safari has, of course, sort of a triangular, but it tells you where to put your fingers, and a very similar nib to the subject pen. This is the Sailor Twist, which again although it offers that option to twist it, it does tell you where to put your fingers in the grip. Some people don't like that, and that's where I find that this is a little more subtle. When you take it, put it in your hands, it just has this rounded feel to it. The back side here, where the finger is, it's very well positioned. It's a little more subtle and rounded, if you will, and doesn't interfere, in my view, at all. Even though it tells you where to put your fingers, you hardly feel it. It's done very well, and to that extent, I think it's original. It's also not as thin as the Lamy Safari. I find the Lamy Safari has a very big indentation. This one doesn't. And we'll give you some measurements to the extent that we can measure this grip in a few seconds. Okay, but there you have it. Sits very nicely. So those are the pens capped. Now, in terms of size, you could see that the pen is a nice size pen. The Lamy Safari is not a small pen, so it gives you a pretty good idea of the size there. Very nice, very nice. So those are the pens capped. Now here are the pens uncapped, and this is really where it counts, right? Because I put in this is an Omas ballpoint Grande, so it's the big version of the 360. Is a little bit unfair. The smaller version would be similar to this Majon V60, but as you can see, the pen is slightly smaller than the others, but very little. It's up to par with the Safari, with the Sailor Twist, if you will, and a little bit smaller than both the Lamy Safari and the V60. In terms of capping, I mean, as I said, I would not want to cap this pen, but if you need to, the big one doesn't cap, so we'll remove that from the picture. The Majon caps, but ridiculously long. The Sailor Twist caps, and the Lamy Safari caps as well. And you can see that capped, it's a nice size, nice long size. But again, I would not recommend capping this pen unless you really have to. But there you have a pen comparison. And we'll put up some measurements and then go to the writing sample. Okay, so we're back for the writing sample, and I thought I'd keep the Japanese theme in, so to go with the pen, we're going to be using Tomo River paper, the original, along with this Ama-iro, Iro Shizuku, which is very, very nice ink, and I think will go well with the entire package. Okay, so let's get to the writing sample. This is the Infinigrav I'm going to put the name there, works. Kickstarter. The ink, well, before the ink, yeah, let's do the ink. Iro Shizuku Ama Iro. And the nib, well, it's a steel, and I believe it's a fine point. Okay. In terms of the nib itself and the writing experience, well, first of all, the flow is excellent. It's not a gusher, so it's good flow. In terms of line variation, there's no line variation on this nib. Very similar to a Safari. You know, I don't think you can get any line variation. Pretty consistent. It's just the nature of that nib. Okay. Now, in terms of consistencies, fast writing, yeah, no problem whatsoever. Very constant. Smoothness, it has a sailor-like feedback, if you will. So there is a feedback there. For a fine nib, I think it's fairly smooth and constant. Reverse writing, you get into a little of a predicament because of the shape of the grip section, but let's see if it writes. Wow. In fact, the reverse writing gives you a medium line and no feedback. Take a look at that. Interesting. First time I've seen that. Isn't that interesting? So maybe there is some value to that reverse writing after all. Okay, so that gets us to likes and dislikes. I mean, the design and materials, very unique. The build quality is just outstanding. The jackets are a nice touch, especially if the project goes forward. Those stainless steel jackets, I think I'm going to be one of the first buyers. What else is there? The versatility in terms of two pens in one. Okay, and the way it functions, how comfortable it is. Okay, and we'll get to it in a second. Value, absolutely 10 on 10. We'll see how you can support the project in a second. We'll do that at the end. But I can assure you that the value is excellent. Dislikes? Well, I think variety in nibs should be one of their future goals, in my view, to make sure that we can get more variety there other than the fine. If we can get a extra fine, medium, broad, and even stubs, little like Salami Safari would be I think a welcome move. But frankly, folks, I don't see any other dislikes in terms of a go-to pen. And when I say go-to, I mean, would you use this on a daily basis? I think it's a formal but comfortable pen. So yeah, I would give it a 10 on 10. I would not hesitate using this on a daily basis. So there you have it, folks. Okay, so this is the, oh yeah, Grav and with the ballpoint. And it has the Schmidt refills, which you can get in different colors, of course. So very nice. Very, very nice. I didn't realize how nice that refill was, because it is the Schmidt refill, which is more like a gel pen or a roller ball than just a ballpoint. That's my review. I hope you've gotten a very good idea of what this writing instrument is all about. It's just a beautiful piece of art, I got to tell you, which leads me to discuss the last section of this review, which is how you can support the project. So let's go to my computer and we'll see what that gives. Okay, here it is. You can click on, backing the project. You can either support the project by pledging without a reward, 1,000 yen, which is like $10. I would encourage everybody to do it. They've worked hard, and I would love to see this. In fact, I will be contributing. You can get the ballpoint part replaced for $28. You can purchase the ballpoint pen part. You can purchase the fountain pen, the black jacket, and the white jacket here. Early bird discount at $117. And I think the price varies depending on the timing, if I understand things correctly. We're looking at an estimated delivery of April next spring. And, depending on the backings, I guess the prices vary. And so there you have it. Take a look at that if you're interested. The Infinigrav, just a beautiful, beautiful pen. And I really encourage everyone to support. I mean, you can get this pen for $120 or $117 Canadian, which is less than $70, US. To me, it's a no-brainer. It adds to your collection, and it's a fun pen. It's a fun pen. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. And congratulations to DareWorks. Keep up the hard work. I wish you all the best for your Kickstarter project. I hope it takes off, because I want to get. You've got to undertake to do this now. Send me, as soon as they're available, please, those stained glass jackets. I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope it all succeeds. And, I hope to be able to cooperate and collaborate with the backers of this project in the future. I know they've got other things in the pipeline. So there you have it. Thank you very much. Grazie molto. Please enjoy your pens and back the project, folks. It's worthwhile. People worked hard for it. It's a great piece of engineering, and you get 2 writing instruments that are fabulous. So thank you. Bye. Ciao.